It was a normal day, much like any other. The sun was up, the sky was blue, and people were busy with their lives. He was sitting in a small park, a place he often went to when he wanted to be quiet and think. He liked to watch the world go by from his favorite bench under a big, old tree. Then he saw her. She was walking slowly, looking at the flowers that grew near the path. She was not doing anything special, just walking and looking. But to him, in that moment, she was the most beautiful sight he had ever seen. It was not just her face, though he thought her face was very lovely. It was the way she moved, so calm and gentle. It was the way her hair caught the sunlight. It was a small smile on her lips as she bent to look closer at a bright red flower. His heart did a little jump. It was a strange feeling, one he had not felt in a long time, or maybe ever. He was not a young boy anymore, but he felt a sudden shyness, like a boy seeing his first crush. He just watched her for a few minutes. She did not see him. She was lost in her own world, enjoying the flowers and the quiet of the park. After a while, she walked on and left the park. He stayed on his bench, but the park felt different now. It felt a little more empty, but also a little more bright, because she had been there. He thought about her for the rest of the day. He wondered who she was, what she did, if she was happy. He hoped he would see her again. A few days later, he went back to the park at the same time. He sat on the same bench. He waited. He was not sure why he was waiting, or what he would do if he saw her. He just felt he had to be there. And then she came. She was wearing a different dress, a soft blue one this time. She walked the same path, and again she stopped to look at the flowers. This time, he felt a little braver. When she looked up, her eyes met his for just a second. He gave a small, shy smile. She smiled back, a quick, polite smile, and then looked away, a little blush on her cheeks. His heart beat faster. That small smile was enough to make his day. This became a sort of routine. He would go to the park, and often she would be there too. Sometimes they would exchange a smile. Sometimes just a look. He learned that she liked to read. She would often bring a book and sit on a different bench, not too far from his. He would pretend to read his own book, but he would mostly just be aware of her being there. The air felt different when she was near. It felt warmer, softer. One day, as she was leaving the park, a few pages fell out of her book. She did not notice. He saw it happen. This was his chance, if he could be brave enough. He quickly stood up, picked up the pages, and hurried after her. "Excuse me," he said, his voice a little shaky. She turned, a little surprised. "Yes." "You dropped these," he said, holding out the pages. Oh. Thank you so much," she said, her voice as soft as he had imagined. "I would have been so sad to lose them. This is my favorite part of the book." "You're welcome," he said. He wanted to say more, to ask her about the book, to ask her anything, but the words would not come. He just stood there, feeling a bit foolish. She smiled at him, a real, warm smile this time. "Thank you again. That was very kind of you." "It was nothing," he managed to say. She nodded and then continued on her way. He watched her go, feeling a mix of happiness and regret. Happy that he had spoken to her, happy that she had smiled at him so warmly, regretful that he had not been able to say more. But that small meeting changed things. The next time they saw each other in the park, their smiles were less shy, more friendly. Sometimes she would say hello first. Sometimes he would. They started to have small talks about the weather, about the flowers in the park, about the books they were reading. He learned that she loved stories with happy endings. He learned that she liked the color blue and the sound of birds singing. He learned that she had a kind heart and a gentle way of looking at the world. She learned that he was quiet but thoughtful. She learned that he had a good sense of humor, hidden under his shyness. She learned that he noticed small things, like the way a leaf danced in the wind, or the way a cloud changed its shape. They started to look forward to their park meetings. The park became their special place. They would often sit on the same bench now, not too close, but close enough to talk comfortably. Their conversations grew longer. They talked about their days, their hopes, their small worries. They found out they had many things in common. They both loved nature. They both enjoyed simple things. They both valued kindness. He found himself thinking about her all the time. When he woke up, his first thought was whether he would see her that day. When he was at work, he would find his mind drifting to her smile, her voice. He realized that he was falling in love with her. It was a quiet, gentle love, like the way they had come to know each other. It was not a loud, sudden thing. It was a slow, warm feeling that grew a little stronger each day. He wondered if she felt the same way. Sometimes he would catch her looking at him with a soft expression in her eyes, and his heart would hope. But he was afraid of spoiling the beautiful friendship they had built, afraid of being wrong. One afternoon, it started to rain while they were in the park. It was a sudden shower. They both laughed as they ran to shelter under the big, old tree where he used to sit alone. They were huddled close together, the sound of the rain all around them. "I love the rain," she said softly, looking out at the falling drops. "Me too," he said, looking at her. The rain made her hair a little damp, and there were tiny drops on her eyelashes. He thought she looked more beautiful than ever. They stood there in silence for a few minutes, just listening to the rain and being close. The air was cool and fresh. He felt a strong urge to tell her how he felt. The words were right there, on the tip of his tongue. He took a deep breath. "There's something I want to tell you," he began, his voice a little unsteady. She turned to look at him, her eyes questioning. I really enjoy our time together," he said. "More than I can say. You make my days brighter. You make everything better." A soft smile touched her lips. "I feel the same way," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I look forward to seeing you every day. Our talks, they mean a lot to me." His heart soared. He felt a surge of courage. "It's more than that for me," he said, looking directly into her eyes. I think I'm falling in love with you." The words were out. He held his breath, waiting for her reaction. She looked at him, her eyes wide for a moment. Then her expression softened, and a look of such tenderness came over her face that it made his heart ache with happiness. "I think," she said slowly, a little tear shining in her eye, "I think I'm falling in love with you too." He could not help it. A wide smile spread across his face. He reached out and gently took her hand. Her fingers curled around his. It felt so right, so perfect. The rain began to slow down, and a little bit of sun peeked through the clouds. A rainbow started to form in the sky. It felt like the world was smiling with them. They did not need to say much more after that. They stood there, holding hands, watching the rainbow. They had found something precious in their quiet little park, under their big, old tree. They had found each other. From that day on, their lives were intertwined. They still went to the park, but now they walked hand in hand. They shared their dreams and made plans for the future. Their love was simple and true, built on smiles, kind words, and shared moments. He often thought back to that first day he saw her, when she was just a beautiful woman walking among the flowers. He had not known then that she would change his life completely. He had not known that she would fill his world with so much joy and love. And she, too, often thought of the kind, quiet man who had picked up her fallen pages, the man whose gentle smile had warmed her heart. She had not known then that he would become her best friend, her confidant, her greatest love. Their love story was not filled with grand gestures or dramatic events. It was a quiet story, a gentle story, like a soft song or a warm breeze. But it was their story, and to them, it was the most beautiful story in the world. And it all started because one day, in a quiet park, he saw a beautiful woman.